So there's this wild theory by former NBA player Rashad Mccants, where he states that he believes that LeBron James has been utilizing his podcast coaching JJ Redick to coach the Los Angeles Lakers. Now, I know that a lot of you out there may view this as one of the most wildest takes that you've ever heard in your life. Maybe Rashad Mccants is right. Maybe Rashad Mccants is wrong. If that's LeBron James' angle at trying to get JJ Redick hired to coach the Los Angeles Lakers, then I think that's pretty much of a stupid plan. It's a pretty ugly plan if you ask me. Just as ugly as all of LeBron James's shoes. And if the Lakers were to hire JJ Redick as the next coach, I predict that the Los Angeles Lakers would go 0-82. That's right. They wouldn't win a game because all JJ Redick knows how to do is shoot the basketball. That would be his solution to everything. So it could be fourth quarter. Down the stretch, all the Lakers have to do is get a defensive stop and they win the game. But here goes JJ Redick on the sideline coaching. How we're going to stop these guys is shooting the ball. But the Lakers would suck if they had JJ Redick as the coach. JJ Redick is going to make the Lakers worse. He's going to be a yes man. And then once the Lakers start losing, they're going to blame JJ Redick. Ultimately, what it boils down to is this. JJ Redick is just a puppet who's more than likely just reading a script that was given to him by the Clutch Sports, a list of questions to ask them. No different than they probably do with the media. As I've said before, they should change the title of the podcast. It shouldn't be Mind the Game podcast. It should be the Mind of LeBron James podcast, because all it's doing is discussing LeBron James's career from his perspective. Now, when they first began the podcast, you seen all the bronzexuals, the LBJTQ, so hyped over the podcast, saying stupid things like, just imagine thinking that you know more basketball than these two. This podcast is going to be up there on the same level as Kobe Bryant's Detail. This podcast will be the ultimate test if you want to learn from the perspective of real hoopers, talking real basketball with players with high IQs, not none of that gossip BS without all the clickbait. Like, bro, I knew that this podcast would be a major flop because it's nothing that LeBron James can tell us that we don't already know. The man is overrated. As long as these mainstream sports media platforms are gossiping in a positive way about LeBron James, then they're all for it. But the moment that someone gives constructive criticism and they're objective when it pertains to LeBron James, now all of a sudden you chatty patty and the gossiping is getting out of control. So they pick and choose. But as I said, JJ Redick is nothing more than a puppet, and LeBron James is a puppet master, a puppeteer, has his hand all the way up JJ Redick's candy ass. JJ Redick is nothing more than a yes man. LeBron James is grooming JJ Redick more than R. Kelly and P. Diddy be grooming young teenage girls. JJ Redick is now what he was when he worked at ESPN on the Clutch Sports payroll. You know, the LeBron James fans and these casuals, they're so easily manipulated. All LeBron James is doing is basically just talking to himself. But he didn't want to seem like a narcissist and self-centered. So instead of doing a podcast of LeBron James talking to himself, asking himself these questions, because he didn't want to look like a fool, he said, you know what? We'll just sit JJ Redick right here. And the nerve of these bronzexuals to compare LeBron James' podcast with JJ Redick to Kobe Bryant's masterpiece, Detail, where Kobe Bryant is, well, the name of the show is self-explanatory, where Kobe is going into detail, breaking down the game, the nuance, educating, teaching the younger generation the science of basketball, breaking down the game from his perspective. Many people have bashed Kobe in the past for being selfish, but never did he use his platform to just talk about himself. Kobe Bryant used past legends, used current players, even college players, to use that as a moment to show players how to get better, how to read defenses, what to do in pressured situations. LeBron James is utilizing his podcast to pretend as if he's breaking down the game and as if he's using this as a teachable moment, but ultimately he's really just trying to convince you that he's the greatest player of all time because he's so-called able to think the game through on such a high altitude that's far out of this world that even Michael Jordan, Kobe Bryant, and all the other past legends couldn't think the game through like LeBron James can. He has the highest IQ in NBA history. But as the old saying goes, the person who tries to be the smartest person in the room is actually the dumbest person in the room, which is LeBron James and JJ Redick. So it's two dumb people in the room. I highly doubt that that is LeBron James' way of trying to convince the Los Angeles Lakers to hire JJ Pathetic, because LeBron James has so much pull and so much power within the league and within the Laker organization. All he has to do is walk into Jeannie Buss' office and force her to hire JJ Redick. And from what I hear, LeBron James is now planning to create his own super team coaching staff. So not only does he stack the deck with superstar teammates, he's also trying to stack the deck with the coaching staff. But it's going to be funny that he's going to create this mega super team coaching staff and he's still going to get swept again for a third time against the Denver Nuggets. And they say the third time is a charm.